Hey guys, and welcome back to T the Goalie. My name's Taylor Schwant, and on today's episode, I'm going to be talking about what my off-season plans are and what's next for me on my pro hockey journey. Before I get into today's episode, I just want to give you guys a quick update on how the remainder of the season went after I got back from Fort Wayne. As some of you already know, I did unfortunately have to leave Fort Wayne in March to go back to work. I ended up not playing another game for the rest of the season. However, I did have the opportunity to support my team all the way to the APHL championships. Unfortunately, we did come in second to the Buffalo Tempest. However, I'm super proud of how the season went, especially because it was the Summit City Distillers' first year of play, and I'm really excited to continue to watch the organization grow and thrive. Now to get into my off-season plans. I've been doing my on and off ice training in my hometown for the past 3 years. But this summer I decided to make some big changes. As of a few months ago, I decided that I'm gonna move out to Fort Wayne for the summer and spend my off season there. And I'll be making my way out there in July. I'll be training mostly with other pro guys, including guys that currently play for the Fort Wayne Comets in the ECHL, along with junior and college guys as well. And I'm really looking forward to being surrounded by like-minded people, especially because I've been wanting to make this change for a while. And as excited as I am for what's coming up, this decision wasn't an easy one to make for several reasons. The primary reason is because I'll be leaving my job, which means I'll be living off of a pretty limited income throughout the off season and probably into the regular season, or at least the beginning of the regular season. And as many of you know, I've been working full-time on top of my training while primarily playing semi-pro hockey, so I could support myself financially in my pursuit. At this point, working full-time while also pursuing hockey has just been too draining mentally and physically for me. And I learned that pretty harshly when I almost had to choose between my job and signing a full contract in Danbury last October, and also while I was finishing out the season in Fort Wayne this year. And most guys in semi-pro do have to work full-time because they have other obligations as well. Hockey isn't their primary goal. But for me right now, my primary goal is to be able to play professionally full-time. And it's not feasible to put myself in a position where hockey has to come second to another job. And with that being said, if I'm being completely candid with you right now, another reason is that this may be my last year that I can continue to realistically pursue hockey at the professional level. I'll be 27 in July, which is kind of pushing it as a rookie, and I'm not getting any younger. And to be honest, I've been doing this since I was 10 years old. And as many of us know, all of those years of the grind, the hard work, the sacrifice can really take a toll physically and mentally. And I'm not really sure how much more I have left in me at this point, but that kind of leads me into my next talking point. At this point in my career, to be blunt, I'm not where I thought I would be or where I think I should be. And I've had a lot of time to think about it, especially after leaving Fort Wayne back in March. And despite how hard I've been working and everything that I've been doing the past 3 years on my pro hockey journey, something just clearly isn't working. After a lot of soul searching and after coming to all of those realizations that I just shared, I decided it's time to go all in. I can't have 1 foot in and 1 foot out anymore. It's all or nothing at this point. It's do or die. And not that I'm trying to speak this into existence, because that's not what I want. But if this somehow does end up being my last season of pro, semi-pro hockey, I don't think I could live with myself if I didn't truly feel in my heart that I did everything I possibly could to go as far as I possibly can. And I've been working really hard to be able to put myself in a position to do this. And the way I see it, there's no better time than now to just pull that trigger, because I already proved that I can do it. It's just about going the extra mile and getting even further than I did before at this point. It's still pretty surreal and a little bit daunting to think about because there's so many changes coming in such a short period of time. But I'm super thankful that I have the means to be able to do this. And I truly feel in my heart and in my head that this is going to be the best way for me to continue to move forward in my hockey career and open up new doors and create new opportunities. I'm really going to miss my summer training with my goalie coach and that crew, and also another group of guys that I play pickup games with. But at the end of the day, I have to move forward and do what I feel is best for me and what's best for my career. That's really all I can say right now about my summer training. But as far as my plans for the 2025-2026 season, that's still very much up in the air, as it is for most of us right now. There's not a lot to be said right now because the offseason started not that long ago, and teams aren't really looking for their free agents yet. Realistically, I probably won't have an offer until the end of July because everything in minor pro hockey is pretty slow moving, especially when it comes to free agents. And I do have some interest from a few Fed teams, the last that I've heard. However, I'm not going to divulge any information on that or get into any specifics until I'm able to sign a contract and solidify something. Not to beat a dead horse, but obviously my primary goal is to go back to the Fed or make it even higher at this point. But if it comes down to it, I am going to go back to the Summit City Distillers again for the start of the 2025-2026 season. I really enjoyed my time there this past season. I loved the team, I loved the city, the fans, and all the support that I had while I was there. And I truly feel like they have my best interest in mind, especially as I'm trying to progress my pro career. And I think playing there, or at least starting the season there, if need be, will put me in a good position to get a call up. So to sum that all up, I'm not really sure what's going to happen at this point. It's a bit of a waiting game, as it usually is at this point in the off season. We're still pretty early, and all I can really do at this point is continue to keep working, also rest my body when I need to, dial it back when I need to, and also just trust that there is work being put in behind the scenes to get something done and make something happen. And being a little vulnerable here, as overwhelming as all this change can be at times, it's time for me to take control and to do whatever I possibly can to go as far as I possibly can and to really take my pro career to the next level. I'm really excited because this is probably the biggest off season of my career, and I truly can't wait to see what's in store and what's coming up next. That's it. That about sums up my upcoming off season and 2025-2026 season plans. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's episode, and I can't wait until I have more to share and more to talk about as I'm continuing on in this pro hockey journey. And I do appreciate the continued support and whoever's been following along so far. Thank you so much for tuning into this week's episode of T the Goalie. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share. Any engagement helps and is always appreciated. And you can also follow me on Instagram. That's going to be linked below in the description. And I can't wait to see you on the next episode.